will, but I think we can go ahead and get it done.
I think we need to do some of the road. I don't think we're gonna have enough in there to do all of them, but I think that we could do
Well,
some
I
of
think
them.
by the time we're talking 6 months before they'll do it, or 4
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
I think we should,
He said spring,
okay, well, just the one in the winter.
but we need
What
to
I'm
get this
saying
turned
is
in.
I think we need to, and I'll talk to Dan about that, approve all of them based on when they get ready to start, we have got enough money that we all feel good about it.
We just need to
And
turn
if we
in
need to
that
cut a
list.
couple, we will, or cut back on the Tom L. Smith, not Tom L. Smith, what's the one that goes up the hill there, that's alone?
Breeze Mountain.
No,
In the woods,
do what?
in the woods.
No, in the woods is all it, everything that they got on it needs it. It's
You're talking about Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek.
It's only from Road Lane to Tom L. Smith, from Road Lane to Tom L. Smith.
That's all he's got down here.
Okay.
Well, looking at the numbers right now, we're like $27,750 short in those accounts minus those figures if we don't have any more disasters hit. So the biggest thing we can do is fire, gasoline, and Argo.
Y'all must be looking at
Help
different
build
numbers than
that
what I'm
account.
looking at.
Help build that account up.
I'm saying 112,000.
There was also a couple of places that they said that they could not handle, that we were gonna have to get somebody like McCartney or one of them that
Well,
was too
no, they
deep.
do that now, and
Dan told me that they could not do it, that these were too deep for
they
them.
couldn't do it with tar and gravel. They were too steep. I saw the statement here, but there was a price in here that showed that
When I spoke with Dan,
Get that copy.
when I spoke with Dan, he said that we would have to
when you're
contract
speaking
that.
with Dan, you need to get us all involved.
Yeah.
Is that,
I can't put you on a phone call with him, y'all, I asked
Well,
both
let
of
me know
y'all.
when you're calling, I'll come to your office and we'll get on speakerphone so we all know what's going on.
Well-
That's what you campaigned
Well,
on, being open and. let
And I'm
everybody know
trying to
what's
be.
going on.
I've asked both of
Well, call me.
y'all, I've
Call
asked
me
both
and
of
I'll
y'all
come.
to bring me a list of how much it was gonna cost, and y'all were gonna call Van
There's the
Dawson
list.
and get back. That's the list I turned in, that's not the list y'all turned
Well,
in.
it's the same list as we've all had, we keep telling you that's the list.
But every meeting I have asked if y'all have spoken to him.
That's enough.
What's
The
the-
problem is we need to all get on the same page and all know what we're talking about. How do you expect us to vote on anything when none of us know it yet?
I'm not asking you to vote, I'm asking you to look at what we have here.
Well, we've got to vote sooner or later.
were the holes too deep or the roads too steep?
Some of both.
The road was the holes were too deep, he said.
He's got an allowance in here for patching and leveling. And then he's got a place that he said it was too steep for tar and gravel.
That must be in the woods.
So yes, it was in the woods.
That's
too steep
that's
for
one
car
of the
gravel.
steepest ones, and that road's going up the hill, I think it's still.
It's plant mix. They did it on a grant several years ago. It's in
It's
fairly
at the
decent.
top that's the problem.
Yeah.
If you look at the estimate that he gave us down here, it tells you down there, a portion of Katy Lane would have to be done with hot mix as it is too steep for tar and gravel. And then a portion of in the woods circle would have to be done with hot mix as it is too steep for tar and gravel.
Okay. And
And that makes sense.
up here in his price is asphalt. There's 16 tons for the patching. And then up here is hot mix coming over here, 500 tons.
Right.
So that's 500 tons is a lot of asphalt. That's gonna do the pavement. That's 20 triaxle loads of asphalt. And see, he's gone down through here and done the line totals and all, so that's in our 112,000.
Right. This is their estimate here, but since we're getting them to do it, they're gonna give us a discount with including the 100% of labor and equipment, so this is what we're gonna be paying.
And they do have an asphalt spreader and rollers and stuff for themselves. They've been doing some over for some of the other towns around.
I'm just going with what he said. He said we would have to contract
Well,
those
see,
two
you don't
deep
understand what they're
plates.
saying lots of times. And, you know, when it comes to roads, I know you do a lot of stuff that I don't understand, but, you know, I understand roads and you need to let me,
Well, you know, the problem is
and I am the road commissioner and Ronnie's the road
if you've
commissioner.
been asked for 6 or 8 months to do something and you haven't done it,
Well, we keep telling her that this was the list, it's the same list as we've been doing. She's finally turning in the same list. we
She's
keep
the one that
telling her.
turned the list in the first place.
She's asked.
And we
And I've asked
already
y'all to ride and look at those roads and turn in your own list.
And that's the
And
same
get a
road
price
as
for
your
it,
back.
and this is 8 months.
Well,
later,
wait
it's
a
gonna
minute,
happen.
you're saying to look, see if we need, you think we need more, but at the same time, you're telling us we can't afford these. We all gotta get on the same
We
page.
just need to have a thorough list, and I believe that based on what we had in the last administration, and this is a thorough.
This is pretty much the same list.
Mhm.
It's hard to complain about not being included if you haven't done what you've been asked.
Well, we did it. I mean, it's been done.
Hey, you know what we do and what we don't do.
Okay, let's go.
I know it.
We're not, we are using Robert's Rule of Order. I'm calling this meeting to order. One person at a time, please. Okay, so do y'all want to vote on this, to give this, to bid this out to the county for the $112,242?
I want to do it like I suggested that we do, and Dan Doffey's reasonable enough. I say we approve it on the condition that at the time they get ready to do it, we can drop a couple if we need to drop a couple. And he won't be upset. They don't care if they do this stuff. They're doing it. It's costing them money. They won't mind us.
So that is your motion?
That is my motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
I'm just confused. And they, again, your motion,
She's saying she wanted us to go
did you turn it?
We're approving all the
bigger
roads.
list, but we can't afford it. But at the same time, she's saying we can't afford to do this list
This list right here.
Yeah.
Your motion is that we turn this list into Dan
and approve it
and approve it.
on the condition that we do have enough money when they get ready to do it, that we're all feel comfortable doing it. If we're not comfortable, we'll drop a couple of them.
Okay, I understand. A couple of streets.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
He says if there's not enough money in
I
there.
understand.
Well, we've got enough money in there right now if nothing else happens, but we're cutting it to $1,000, but we should have more money coming in
Okay.
in the meantime, and we got no way of knowing exactly how much. Looking back, it's been $1,000, but there's gonna be more. That was just from one of those taxes, I think.
I
Looking
understand.
at what I was looking at.
Okay, we got a motion and a second.
Mayor, can
Sure.
I reiterate the motion, and make sure that I'm understanding it well, just for the
Sure.
record? Approve the list as has been presented, the most recent one, subject to the final approval of each road prior to the actual work being done.
That's,
And y'all do realize when we turn this list in, he has to have it on his records that this is what we plan on paving, and then if we have to drop them, then we'll just have to call him and let him know.
and I'll talk to him. He won't have a problem
Yeah,
with that.
may I suggest that once you all vote on what you want, that the mayor put that in the form of a letter with the list and send it to him saying this is what was voted on, so that he'll know that he'll need to get final approval for each project once he gets it on his radar.
Or all. Each project are all wrong. If we want to cut some out, if we don't cut it, we'll give final approval for it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Casey, roll call, please.
Councilperson Cohen. Councilperson Bowman.
Yes.
Councilperson Massey.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge.
I have a question for a vote. How long does Dan have to know prior to starting this work? that we-
He said we need to get it turned in as soon as possible.
He needs to schedule it, but he won't care if we put a road or two off of it, because he'll be behind.
What's your criterion gonna be?
I'm sorry?
What's your criterion gonna be? Shouldn't you have that before you make
I
a,
couldn't hear what she's saying.
There's a motion on the table and 3 votes. That could cause them to change their vote depending on the conversation.
That's right.
My vote's no.
Councilperson Brown.
Yes.
Mayor Bradley.
No.
It's 3 yeses.
3 yeses, 2 noes. Okay, was you able to get all that, Casey, as what them,
Wait a minute, you're wrong.
There's 3 yeses, motion carries, right?
right?
You voted yes?
I voted no. Tony voted no, Ann voted yes, you voted yes, and Ronnie voted yes. That's 3.
I thought you said no.
Okay, next on the agenda is the signal controller. Tony?
We don't have any update. I don't remember exactly what the last update was, but the maintenance engineer with DOT has said that in principle, he thinks he can help us out with the controller, and they have a new traffic engineer Yeah, and he's trying to get her and trying to get a controller located, and he's not gotten back to me and told me that he's gotten that yet.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Tony on that? Okay, the library, Ann?
Okay, at our last meeting, I was asked to go back to the Asheville Library and measure the bookshelves. In inquiring on my part to put bookshelves from one light switch to the other light switch inside the workout / senior room. I did that, and I've given all of you a copy of that, of those different bookcases that they have. I measured the wall in there that we were talking about, and it's 31 feet. So in doing that, if we so choose, we can get 5 of the 7-foot high, 5-foot, 9-inch wide shelving, or we can get 9 of option number 2, which is 7-foot high and 3.2 feet wide. And that would still give us a good clearance on either side of that light switch in there. The last time I talked with the librarian in Asheville, she said that she believes the county commission has plans for that building, and they were wanting her to, to clear that building. They do not have plans for the books or the shelves, as far as she knows, aside from anything that we may can use. So I did what you all requested that I do, and that is my findings. I believe that as we increase activities and offer more for the seniors, I believe that these bookshelves, regardless of what they hold, can be an asset for the city. Whether we use them to hold games or puzzles or anything that any activities that's, that takes place in that room. So the bookshelves would have probably 5 or 7 shelves on each bookcase. There's more than enough books over there that are truly expensive books that could adequately fill those shelves for right now. So my request is that we be allowed to get for free those bookshelves from Asheville, and the books, some books to maybe not completely fill the bookshelf, but to leave space for other things to be added, if so desired, but to definitely take advantage for our citizens of this opportunity to have these assets given to us free.
Someone have any questions?
So, right now, exactly, you're requesting to get the bookshelves.
The bookshelves and the books that we would need to go on there.
How many books do we already have upstairs?
I didn't count them. I would say 200-300. Do you think, Deanne, Ron?
Probably.
So is that just to get this stuff and also to place it, or are we just talking about to get it right now? What are we talking about?
Well, if we get it, we might as well place it. I mean, you mean place it in the room? Or,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean.
So you're asking for
If
space
we
in the
get it,
senior
we gotta
area?
have, yeah, if we get it, we got, if we're to get it, we gotta go get it.
Okay, well,
Their
the
main objective is.
main thing we asked about last time, did the senior want it in there? You were supposed to find that out.
No, I wasn't supposed to find that out. I have no contact.
You were supposed to bring us the whole package, what was gonna happen, whether we had approval.
I don't know who the seniors, you refer to seniors, I don't know who that is. I'm not up here the 2 Mondays out of the month that they're
This
here.
council has the authority to, ever what goes in that senior area are in this building, this council has the, you know, they are the ones that makes those decisions.
I
Because
just
we
feel
do not
like
have a senior board or anything that makes those,
We were supposed to
could you
find out if
correct
the
me if I'm
federal
wrong,
government, if those,
attorney.
we got grants, we were supposed to find out if the grants
the
were
grants
big
didn't
for.
pay for the building, it.
Well, they paid for the equipment and stuff in there, and it's like they told us the last meeting, we are restricted of what we can do in there.
It doesn't limit us to use of the building, just the equipment that the
It
grant
may
involves.
limit that room though.
No, it doesn't limit the building.
You're just
the
seeing it the
equipment.
way you want to see it, and we gotta go by the law. And I think if you make a
Well,
motion.
let's let Attorney Barnett answer the question, and he might,
I have not seen the grant documents at all. I don't know if they're physically here or not. I just don't know the answer.
Casey and I have looked upstairs for those documents, we have not been able to find them yet. But we're hoping, we're still looking, we've not found them as yet.
And that is a distinction, whether or not the grant money will pay for part of the space, or pay for just the equipment, or what have you. And if it's just the equipment, obviously, there needs to be a space dedicated to that equipment and a space dedicated to the seniors. Whether or not other items are put in there for other public to use, obviously that presents an issue, you know, public access and all, but that's an issue that I believe that you all have to make a decision on. As long as that's, can't really say that the space is not dedicated to seniors, but is it dedicated exclusively to seniors? That's the question. And that's the question that only the grant documents can answer.
And if we don't have grant documents, then what?
The city ought to do the best it knows how to do.
Well,
Given
whoever gave us the grant will have a copy of the document.
We don't know.
And Casey has been in touch, we're waiting to hear from them as to, you know, how that grant reads. We're hoping to get another copy of that so we can send it to Attorney Barnett for him to look over. But as of this date, we do not have it.
I mean, if you don't ultimately find them, and no one can produce them, then you just do the best you can. And that's, you know, given what you know. And so, but hopefully they'll be located and be a quick review, and we'll find out the duration of that grant and the restrictions on it.
But I know we are responsible for that equipment that's in that room, and to secure it, make sure nothing does happen to it, you know, no matter how the grant failed, we're responsible to take care of
And
it.
most likely, if I had my guess, to limit the use of that equipment to the seniors, most likely. That's my educated guess on that one.
That seems very discriminating. I'm sorry, but to be in a public building, even if it is like for seniors grant or whatever, it's still a public building. To discriminate against people based on age, it's still. So yeah, I would love to find that information out.
Yeah, I mean, it all, or very similar to, for instance, the rules required for the shelter. There's only certain things that can go in the shelter. You can't go in there and make offices out of it. You can't let the youth in the city go in and use it for a youth facility. So there are restrictions, and what those restrictions are, only the grant documents will identify. And so, yeah, it could be limiting to a certain group of citizens in the city. For instance, Springville, they have a standalone building that's very highly limited to seniors in their programs.
The playgrounds have a 14-year-old age
Do
limit.
you know what the age is, what they could consider seniors?
I don't know exactly. It's probably
Year 55?
right. It's probably in the 50s roughly, but I don't
There's
know.
There's no way,
59
you've
or
already
so.
set a precedent by saying that anybody that works for the city can use it as well, and anybody who brings in somebody that's the age of 18 or over. You can't say that it's only, you've set a precedent by saying that, you're gonna tell me that everybody who works for the city is 50 some odd years or older?
We didn't set the precedents, the federal government set the
No,
precedents.
that was set by the people that made those rules, that, because I've read them. And I've also gone through and read multiple other cities' versions of what they do with their city, their elderly facilities. And most cities, from what I've read, have said they set their own ages. They choose to set their own ages. And you're right, it may be grant-based, but most grants say, from what I've read, and now I might be completely off and it may be some grant somewhere, wherever, have said cities get to make their own decisions as to how they define their own seniors, because some cities are small and they can't do.
And I don't think there's any disagreement with what you just said. I think we're all on the same page. And the only thing that I would say is if the grant documents dictate rules, then those are the rules that the city should be following. If they don't, then all of what you said, ditto.
So,
Okay, so the room that is used for the driving school, that's rented out. That room has no restrictions on it.
Only restrictions you apply
All right, so,
as a city council.
okay, so then could we use that 30 feet of one of those walls to put the bookcases in and to get the books to put there? And then when we can figure out this grant, then move them at that point if they can be moved. If they can't be moved, then we can leave them in that room, and it'd be the same guidelines that we have the 2 bookcases on now as a lending library.
Casey, how often are we renting the room in there right now?
We've rented it out a lot the last couple of months because of the holidays. We've had some baby showers and stuff. It's, I'd say at least like 2 a month or sometimes more.
So we're making some money on that room right now.
But it could still be utilized for that and rented out for those functions and have 30-foot of bookcases with books on it as well. I don't think the fact that the bookcases have books on it is going to deter anybody from wanting to use it for a party or a function.
Mike, do you know, when y'all were using that room for training and that kind of stuff, do y'all put anything on any of those walls or anything in there that would hinder
Not other than the front wall,
excuse me?
sorry. Not other than the front wall where the screen is.
My biggest concern, and I know, and this is close to your heart, but, we're responsible for this city hall. If those books are back there, it gives people an excuse to go back there. We're gonna end up having to hire somebody to watch the library or the room or the senior's room or whatever, and somebody's gonna have to be responsible for those books. If the county gives us those books, and then we let, these are donated books up here, and something, everybody brings books and comes back and forth, the, people that do come. And we got no record of who took the books or who brought books back or, and then, like I say, stuff has gone missing in the senior citizens place before and back there before. We just opening the doors of the city hall that we're responsible for. And, unless we've got somebody back there to keep an eye on it, we don't know what's gonna happen. There's access to the senior citizen from that room, and the doors may be locked, may not be, but, if we increase a bunch of traffic in here, it's happened, like I said before, senior citizen stuff, when we were doing the room and not supervising it closely enough, stuff went missing, and the senior, people were eating stuff out of the refrigerator that belonged to seniors. And it just, my problem is it's going to become a money pit. We'll have to hire somebody, a librarian or whatever. I just don't see it working for us.
I don't think there's very big amount of space in this room or in this building that can't be monitored by the monitors that are on the clerk's office or on their computer or the mayor's computer.
Well, the clerk's got to sit there and watch the monitor, or the mayor's got to watch the monitor.
But rarely have I been in here that they didn't know I was here.
Well, I could walk in and they don't know I'm there till
I
I'm
think
standing.
what I think what I'm hearing you say is that we want to keep the citizens out of this building that
No,
they're paying for.
no, I want citizens to come here, all they want to come here,
Well-
but if we've got a library back there, we need somebody to monitor it, whether it's, 3 kids getting in a fist fight back there or what, you know, the library has to be supervised.
Well, I don't think we've had any fist fights out in the lobby.
Well, we had 2 or 3 kids in the
Courtroom.
We almost had so much here. My concern is this, the books, probably in 3 or 4 years, are gonna be obsolete. Where are we gonna get any money? Maybe grants or whatever in 3 or 4 years to replace the ones that we're bringing in now?
But we just got through with the budget, and we had arguments here over whether to hire a policeman or not. We've had arguments about being able to pave the roads. We got no money, and if this thing turns out to be a money pit, there we are. And it
And we're
started
not gonna
out,
be, and we're not gonna be
She
short
started
anything
out
upstairs, because
3
I'm
months
worried about it being structurally safe up there
we
for.
started out 3 months ago at a $52,000 budget, and we voted no on that, and then we went to 12,000, and then that was after people were giving donations. Well, the first year people will give donations, but 2 or 3 years down the road, they're not, won't give donations, and then we're stuck with that.
One year down the road with the previous plan, after the first year, we would have qualified for federal and state grants.
But it's matching grants.
No, it's not matching grants.
It won't be
It's
enough to cover everything you're
100%.
talking about.
It's 100%. Well, my point is we have to start somewhere.
Well, we don't for now.
If this is completely free, then we could have a fundraiser to raise money to buy new books. It doesn't have to cost the city anything. The books and the shelves are both gonna be free. So
If I believed it would be free and it would continue to be free, I'd be all for it, but it
Well,
cannot happen that way.
the last conversation that you and I had about this, you said you could support this if it didn't cost the city any money. So now I have proposed a plan that will not cost the city any money. If in the future it turns into a money pit, then we can just discontinue it. It's not something that has to be continued once it's started. And there are a lot of opportunities for fundraisers to buy books, to buy activities, to plan activities up
Okay,
there,
well,
not only for children,
I
but for
understand what
seniors
you're
as
saying.
well.
What I'm asking is if these books are so good and they're so valuable, and every library in St. Clair County has already picked across them, why are they so good and so valuable?
Because every library in St. Clair County has their budget, and they get grants, and so they keep their library updated with books. So they don't need these books. They've already taken from the library what they wanted, and they're still.
And that's what I'm
thousands of
saying, we're
books there.
getting what's left, and they're
But there's, if you went
the
up there
least
and
likely to
looked,
be.
no, if you went up there and looked, there's still books that were published in 2016, 15, 16. We brought books that were still in the box that hadn't even been opened, that were brand new books. So we're not looking at bringing up here books that are 20 years old that people have probably already read. These are up-to-date, hardback, good books that our citizens, we owe it to our citizens to at least offer them the opportunity to utilize this facility that their taxpayer dollars are paying for. We're not offering them any activities up here. We're not offering them any reason to be here with their children, with their time off, retired people. Every other municipality in this county has activities for the seniors, a calendar of activities. There are programs that we could be feeding our seniors practically free meals at lunch.
Well, we're talking about books right now.
But if we had a reason for people to come up here, then there's no limit to the activities, there's no limit to what we can offer our citizens. We've got to start somewhere, and why not start somewhere that is absolutely free?
If I believed it would be free, I'd be all for it.
Well,
There's
until
no
we
way.
get it here and I can show you that it is, I
I'm
have,
telling you, not
there's no way
tomorrow,
that I can
3
say.
months down the road, or as soon as, you can't keep up with the books if nobody's there to keep up with the books.
You don't have to keep up with books. It's just like these bookshelves out here. It's called a lending library. The books are free.
I
They're
understand
free
that,
to
but it
us.
don't.
People that read do not steal books. They lend books to other people that are readers. They bring
I
books up
understand
here
the
that they have
concept of a
already
library
read
and
and they bring them
a
back.
library. I understand the concept.
This has nothing to do with Ann Brown. I am passionate about this, I am. But I am passionate about doing a job that I was elected to do for these citizens, and that is to improve the amenities and the activities that we have to
Our
offer our
first
citizens.
obligation is to pay our bills, is to pay
I-
the city's bills.
I agree with that, and I'm giving you a program that's not costing the city anything.
If we put the bookshelves in the rental room in there, or the training room, that they use for the training and everything, would that be a problem with still renting the room out to?
I can't imagine anybody saying, I don't want to have a party in here because there's a bookshelf full of books. I mean, you see the reporter, she's laughing.
No, it was me. I'm sorry.
I know Woman Knight can't believe we're having this conversation over free bookshelves and free.
Well, let me just tell you how the playground went. She
That
started
has-
the playground at
That doesn't have
12,000.
anything to do with
Well,
this.
it's,
Let's
it
get on the,
did.
let's
It
get on
was
the
her track
subject. though.
record. Her projects, she starts them at nothing, and then the first thing you know, they snowball.
Meeting's called to order.
And I,
Okay, Ann, are you gonna make that motion that?
I am going to make that motion. I'm going to make a motion that we accept the free bookshelves from St. Clair County Commission and the Asheville, or the St. Clair County Library Board, 30 feet of bookshelves and books to fill them. That is my motion.
Is that, should we assume that the placement of those is where you discussed?
she got to decide where she wants to put them.
Or is that in the same motion?
My motion is that we accept the free bookshelves and books. I would like them to be wherever there's a space in this building that can be utilized by the citizens of this city.
Well, we've got to establish that. We can't bring them here and not put them, and leave them outside.
That room right back there has
Talking
no
about the
guidelines.
training
for
room,
it.
training room?
The training room has no guidelines, except the ones that we've been imposed.
That would not interfere, if we use that room, that would not interfere with driving school or anything. Okay, we have a motion. Right, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowan, Councilperson Bowman,
Yes.
Councilperson Massey,
No,
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge,
Talking about 30 feet.
the main thing is it don't grow. It's got no room to grow. I mean, you get your foot in the door and then it takes over the whole room, is what I'm saying. I love Ann to death, don't get me wrong with me, but she always gets
Okay, we have a motion, we have a
too far
second.
along. She's
Councilperson
so
Bowman.
enthused about stuff.
I have a procedural question for the attorney. How can the motion be amended to change it?
An amendment motion, if you proposed for it to be amended, there's a problem now because the voting has started, but the procedural answer to that is that that vote to amend the motion takes precedent, and it has to have a motion and a second.
And we cannot bring this up with another motion after this will be voted on.
Along the same subject line, yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, I mean, you don't get just one vote on a subject, you can have more than one vote on a
We
subject.
can bring it up again next meeting. I mean, this is.
I'm talking about, I have to vote no on this motion.
Councilperson Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Bradley,
I'm going to vote no on this motion.
would like to say, would you consider doing 3 of those shelves? And we're not placing them in any facilities that we have closed out right now. I mean, we don't know what's going on with seniors, we don't know what that grant says. If we could find a spot for 3 of those shelves. My concern is this, I've looked at and listened to a lot of different people since we started this thing. I heard a city councilman from Houston, Texas, we were discussing, they actually had a study done, and it was 94.3% of the people who are doing research or getting things from the library, getting information from the library, are not doing it via books anymore. I personally like to read books, and I think there's use for them. I just don't think there's enough for 30 feet. I don't think we have enough interest to use 30 feet of shelves.
I would live with the reduction of footage.
The other thing is that if we can do that, we got 2 shelves out there already, we can put the 3rd one out there, then
We didn't propose 1 shelf.
I propose to do is, it hasn't been proposed yet.
No, comments, discussion.
It's open for discussion. I've got a right to, I voted in just like you did. What we're saying, when you were saying the 30 feet of shelves, we assumed those were going away out there.
I guess what I'm saying is that I don't see a need for 30 feet. I don't know if there's, quite honestly, I don't know if there's a need for 15 feet shelves, but I think there is. You know, there will be some people that read books, not many from what I've seen. I personally read books, but I would like to see, and we can take a recess and do it right now. What kind of room we got out there, or out here somewhere else? Where have we got room for the rest of the shelves?
And I wouldn't be as opposed for it if it's in the lobby to where, we got activity up there, we got 2 employees up there all the time during the day. And, they can pretty much see, and then the police chief's in and out of there, and fire chief's in and out of there, and public's in and out of there, where, something you do not know what's going on. If they're back here in these rooms, you say, we got TV monitors, but we haven't got time to sit and watch TV monitors and stuff. I wouldn't be against, like say, 3 bookshelves in the lobby, if there's room.
Yeah, what if we voted to accept 3 of those bookshelves, whatever books we want to accept, from the county? And then we look at and agree on where we can put those things. So for right now, they're outside this building until we can look at and agree on where we put them.
I'll donate a mini storage, to keep them until we do decide, or if we need to keep them for a month or 2 or whatever, till we.
And I'll come up here and help you measure where we need.
So you're proposing,
I'm proposing it's at half of your proposal, which is basically 15 feet. And that we decide to accept them, and then going forward, we figure out where we can put them. And then we bring it back and decide where we can put them.
There's 2 really nice little rolly carts, little metal bookcase carts that I think y'all can use for a lot of things too. So.
Anyway, that's my thoughts. I think that there will be some people that use it. I don't think there's enough that we can justify putting that many shelves.
right now, I agree, there's probably not enough, but as we increase activities
I'll tell you what I'll do.
for the seniors.
I'll donate
we'll see more people.
a mini storage to the library, and we'll have 3 bookshelves out there, and you can store the rest on a long-term basis at the mini storage, and then as they need to be swapped out, you can swap them out, or however you see fit.
So you're proposing that we accept 15 feet.
And I think we should find somewhere in this lobby out here to put that.
That's the 3.
But he's willing to donate
We'll figure out.
a warehouse for it.
Go ahead and accept it. We need to get that out of there before we figure it out.
But I'm sure if we take them, they don't want us destroying them. So if we take them, we gotta have something to do with them. And like I say, we can store them in the mini storage and you can rotate them. And we're offering you a compromise. You got a no vote on your way.
She needs to get the shelves to put them on in the mini stores, so they don't ruin.
That'd be fine too. I'll give you.
So
a
you
big
have to
mini
get the
storage.
extra.
She won't need no huge place, I mean, just.
Yeah, you just have to get
He's
the
saying
shelves to put those
To
on.
shelve them so that you can go through them and when you want
They
to swallow
need
them
to be
out,
up
you
on
can.
concrete if you're gonna give them, you don't need them like they were.
Yeah, you don't want them in a bunch of boxes. You want them to be where you can look through them, you walk in there and see them all.
So you're saying that I need to have shelves at Corky's storage building with the
To put
books
them
on
on,
them?
yes.
Yeah, and you got the
And
shelves.
then have the book shelves here
Here.
to put books on.
Right.
So if that's the case, then we need double the bookcases to
No,
have books shelved.
no, you
Well,
said
you
you was getting
need-
30 feet, we're allowing 15 in here, take the other 15 feet up there.
Yeah, you have 15 feet down there, 15 feet here. Does that sound good?
Okay, so we're getting 30, yes, that's what I'm. that's what
You get
I'm-
30
we're
feet.
getting
Just,
30
just
That'd be
15 coming here.
That'd be the 30 feet that looks
There.
small. And
That was a
and
very
you want to
generous
put a few
offer.
more in there,
Yes,
in the mini storage.
It's good compromise.
But, you know, I just can't imagine
I mean, it's
us
a
being able
breeze,
to control it like that. If it's up there in the lobby, even if we have to move the Coke machine, I don't think we sell that many Cokes, so we can move it over there, to make that longer along there or something.
There's 15 feet from the food bank, it could be utilized where that
That was my thought.
pass window is, because we've got a freezer on the back side of it. There's 15 feet there that can be utilized if that bulletin board is moved over.
We just went out there and looked.
I'm saying in the lobby.
In the lobby.
We have
So that way, when
security.
people came in the door we're having to use now, they'd be right in front of them.
Right in front of them, but we found 15 feet out
And then
there.
if the
If it'll help
15 feet,
stop,
if it
get
works
y'all
out,
through.
everybody's utilizing. You man.
I like that. Okay, you made that motion, Tony?
Let me make a suggestion.
Okay.
Any motion that you have, accept a donation to the city, the storage facility. Just make-
Yeah, I'll get tax break out of it. Hey, it's beautiful. Everybody needs tax break.
Okay, Tony, you want to make a motion that we accept the donation for land? What do y'all?
15 feet up here, 15.
You go ahead, you go.
With the agreement that we don't have any tax break, that would be a personal motion.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
You
that's
could have
right.
waited and said that later. Does that?
That's right, that's right.
That's fine, I won't take a tax break.
Okay, so what Corby said was, if in the future we see there's a.
But now if there's 3 people a month coming in here to get a book,
I understand what you're saying, but I just don't want to, I don't want to lock it in that 15 feet has to stay there and 15 feet is here. And it's, I want the motion to be read, Attorney Scott, help us, the motion to state, to leave that open, that those, the remaining bookcases that are in storage can be brought down here at a future date if the mayor and council that are here at that point feel deemed necessary or deemed
if they upon approval of the council.
usable.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, she hasn't got this yet, she's
No,
already
I
trying to
just
get bigger.
want to be, I mean, you.
But I
you're the one that
suggested it,
said
that's
that.
fine, I think-
I just want to be sure that it's in the form of a motion, how it needs to be, to cover what you suggested.
Well, that's just it. I don't think that needs to be in the motion because the council has the inherent.
Has the authority.
Has the inherent.
If it's not working, somebody will make a motion to get rid of it.
They can improve it, kill it, do whatever they want to with it in the future, whether it's you all or whether it's others. So, that's to be stored at that facility, with Corky waiving any rights to any tax credit.
Okay.
Kept you out of trouble.
That sounds good.
Okay, Tony, you want to make that motion, please?
That's a victory for our citizens.
I make a motion that we vote to accept 30 feet of shelving plus or minus from the county, 15 of which is to come to City Hall right now, That's also to include the books to fill those shelves, and the 15 feet that is not going to be located at City Hall will be stored in a mini storage unit donated by Councilman Massey,
391 US Highway 11.
391 US Highway 11. Anything else?
I'm not kidding about waiving of any kind of personal benefit
That's fine, that's fine.
to include that part.
Everything you've ever seen me give here, I never counted.
I know.
That includes waiving of any personal benefit.
And I'll second before Ann gets a chance.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cohen, Councilperson Bowman,
Yes.
Councilperson Massey,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge,
Yes.
Councilperson Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Bradley.
Yes. Okay, next on our agenda was the mayor's comments. I would like to thank Councilman Massey for the Christmas parade. He did a fantastic job on that with whoever assisted him in that.
And some of them are here. And thanks for the Christmas break that's back there too.
I want to thank the Owens for putting on our first ever Grand Marshal breakfast. And for our exchange student, Miss Kate. I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm not even going to try. I want to thank our fire and police department for all they did to make sure that everyone was safe. Michelle, CERT, they did a fantastic job of lining everyone up, making sure that everybody was where they were supposed to be. I also would like to thank all of the people that came to our Christmas party for our employees. We had a really good turnout, I thought, and for all the food that was donated by everyone for that. Also, I want to remind everyone that December the 26th, the City Hall will be closed. So that that's a day that our employees gets off so they can observe that day. I think that's all I have to add. Okay.
Just a reminder that if the solid waste issue is coming up beginning of January, if you need any input from me, any insight, any questions answered, let me know. Otherwise, if it's coming up, fine.
We hope to have that on the agenda, so please, everyone, when you get some time, read that over that.
Something I would like to address, I think you said something about the other day is pricing the bid for commercial pickup.
Right, just allowing it to be bid by any particular company that bids commercial so that contractor that's given the franchise to the city can provide the service and the merchant can demand that pricing from that contractor.
Also, I would like to add, I want to thank Michelle, Michael, and Stacy Allen for Christmas for Kids. They did a fantastic job with that. Michelle was up here handing out to the children that had applied on Saturday night. You did a fantastic job with that. I want to thank Casey for the decorations. She came in and decorated for us for our employee breakfast, did a fantastic job. Without all the help of our citizens, there would be no way that we could do it all. So all of these people play a very important part. Our food bank gave food to the families that applied this year. They deserve a round of applause because they worked very hard in there making sure that the citizens in Argo that are in need of their services are provided for. And if there's anyone else I'm missing, I apologize. I can't think of anyone else, but I'm sure there's some that has done some things. Our clerks, Tommy Suggs, took a lot of phone calls about our parade and stuff, and he tried to steer them in the right direction. Does
The
any?
neighboring fire departments and police departments helped us.
Yes, we had a lot of participation from Springville, Margaret.
And I appreciate the people from Argo that went to Springville and Margaret too, because it's a two-way street. They can support us big.
But I want to, I just want to make sure everyone, knows that we really appreciate the efforts they put into making the holidays special for a lot of people. Does anyone else have anything to add? And have anything to add? Also, remember, please keep Ann Cowan in your prayers. She lost her brother this week. So we just want to make sure that, you know, y'all keep her in your prayers.
I need to,
You have something you need to say, Corky?
I'm our new representative at the Moody Gus, and I've met with them and showed them a couple of projects that we've had in mind. One that was supposed to be underway one time and got canceled, and then another to extend the main. And they're supposed to be working us up some prices to ask. And Don Smith, he says there are some grants where we can get some money maybe to, and I'm gonna work with him, you know, to God bless him.
No, I would appreciate it if you would do that, Corky, because I feel like that since you're on that board, that you're in a position to bring us back
We got
information.
lucky, I got over there and you 3 of the 4.
That's great.
So-
That's great. Tony, do you have anything to add? Ron, do you have anything? Motion to adjourn? Oh, public comments, I'm sorry. Anybody sign?
I did, I remove my name now.
I would just like to say something about the
go
Argo
ahead.
Christmas for Kids, because I really enjoyed it. It was a little nerve-wracking at first, because it's something I'd never done before. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's something that, I mean, you know, we take for granted things every single day. I mean, one of the families that I met, the lady didn't have a car. I mean, when I walked on her front porch, I nearly fell through it. I mean, she's literally raising 4 of her grandkids. And she didn't even have a camera to be able to take pictures of her grandkids for Christmas. But I was able to get someone to donate a camera with film and all that today. So she's going to have a camera and all that also for Christmas. So, but anyway, I just wanted to thank you for appointing me to that position, Betty.
We appreciate all the help we get.
So, but thank y'all for allowing me to do that, because it really was an eye opener.
Thank you.
Another thing too is, this is my 3rd year as the parade chairman, and I'd like to do some again, but we've got the new Civitan here in town, and it was mentioned for them to help with it this year, but everything happened so fast, and their organizational party didn't happen until, 2 weeks ago. We all got sworn in. I'm a member. These are members here. Need to get some more people to be members. Betty's a member. Yeah, we had our first official meeting less than 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? And I was the one that bought your supper.
Did you have something to say, Mr. Swatzel?
I did, but
I think we wait till the library.
He's tired now.
finally, after months, got ironed out. I've got some free books.
Does anyone want to make the motion to adjourn?
Wait.
Oh, you have something to say, okay.
Are you excited?
Too late.
We hadn't adjourned yet.
All right, I appreciate the compromise we made on the library shelves. I just think that all 50 feet should be up here. I think there's enough room to keep all 30 feet up here. And I mean, you know, and you're concerned about people not coming up to check books out, or, you know, whatever you decide to do about that. I mean, you could do something as simple as putting a sheet of paper up where they sign a book out to let you know that they've taken it. And, you know, that's not going to cost any money. And, you know, but you should let people know in the town that we have a library, that we have books that could be lent out. You know, I mean,
I think Ian does a pretty good job.
Yeah, you
putting
can
it on
rest assured
Facebook. Put it
people
on
know.
Facebook, don't you, Ian?
Well, I mean, I know, you know, I don't think there's a lot of people that know about the books that are up here. You know, I think we could do a better job of letting people know about that.
Okay.
We'll put you in charge of it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I do hope that in the coming year, that we are able to put together a group of citizens that would like to see more activities take place up here, and have the citizens to take charge of that. and maybe put together a calendar for our citizens of all ages to participate in different activities. If not up here, if we don't have the land that we need or whatever, that we could find a church or something that would let us use, that we can do something to pull our community out and to get our citizens to know each other.
Our biggest challenge is still revenue. I mean, if we had some revenue, we wouldn't been sitting here.
We can have all the revenue in the world, but if we don't have the people down here participating in anything that we offer, then it isn't gonna, you
But
can't,
we've got to make it attractive.
throwing money at a situation doesn't fix it.
That's right.
We have to, you know, we can have an Easter egg hunt and, you know, what's it cost for, you know, I mean, plastic eggs and some candy. You know, I mean, a lot of municipalities do things to pull their community together, that it doesn't, you know, that don't, I mean, if you look at some of the functions that Springwood and Trussell have, they have sponsors. Their businesses sponsor these things. We've never asked our businesses to sponsor anything because we've never really had a group that organized anything to go out and see if we need sponsors to help pay for it.
Y'all
So,
are not dismissed yet.
I do not want to talk, but y'all are forcing me to. We have a great community out here. We have a great space. If we don't utilize it, it's just gonna just shrivel up and go away. That playground is awesome. We come up here and walk all the time, and there's little people out there all the time. These little families come out, they don't have any place to play out here. This is it. If we don't build it up, it's just gonna go away. It's just gonna crumble. I say keep it up, maintain it, love it, embrace it, pull some
All
stuff
that
out
takes
there.
money. None of us disagree with you, but we got to have
I
money.
tell you what, we do a lot around here that doesn't cost a dime.
I bet you don't do as much as I do.
I guarantee you're right, Corky. You own it, you're the man.
But I donated equipment and time and money to the playground. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but like I say, we're responsible for the city's money, and we ain't got any. We got to watch every nickel. If we get some revenue coming
And
in.
thank God for free books and free bookshelves.
I don't think she's referring to, I'm not gonna argue, that's for sure. It was good to be able to spend any money, I think she's referring to getting some citizens together to try to participate.
And I'll volunteer and help you all I can, but like I say, the city's money and my money's two different things. I throw mine away a lot better than I do the city's.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Ah.
Thank y'all for coming.